Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of a little chit chat video. I wanted to talk to you guys about, I did a video in the past where I was talking about advice for starting your a fragrance collection, specifically a collection knot. I have a number of fragrances that I wear through if you're looking to start collecting fragrances. Kind of wanted to expand on that and give you guys some insight on how I purchase fragrances and what factors I look into, because it looks like I know on my channel it looks like I just randomly buy things, but there is a method to my madness, so I thought this video might be fun to kind of talk about. So if you guys would like to know a little bit more about creating a fragrance collection and also what I look into, or my requirements for purchasing fragrances and things like that, then keep watching. The original video down below, and that's going to talk to you guys about tips and advice for starting a fragrance collection. Different categories I think are good to look into purchasing with your heart, logically for fun, or filling specific needs that you might have or holes in your collection. And for me, I have a decent collection. Currently it's just under 300 bottles. So, oh my gosh, this little red thing's bothering me. So I just kind of wanted to start that out. I like to do monthly hauls. Initially I would just kind of like, whenever I would buy something, I would share it with you guys. But I started doing monthly hauls because A, it's a lot bigger. You know, you see like 10, 20s. I think one month I had over 50 bottles I acquired all at once, and it's kind of like, to me it's a little bit more fun to watch those videos rather than here's one I got, here's two I got, here's four, you know. It's a little bit more fun and exciting when they're all kind of grouped together, which is why I did that. But ultimately I look for holes in my collection. Now that might sound weird because I have 300 bottles, and I'm going to be talking about my collection like it's a large collection, because technically 300 bottles is a lot. So I'm just going to be talking about it like it's a large collection. When you think about someone who has 300 bottles, you think, what possibly could you, what hole? Like, what do you mean? And for me, a hole in my collection has to do with me being kind of a completionist. I like having full, every single thing of a certain line. So if a line of fragrances, let's look at Zoologist is a great one to mention. Zoologist has, I believe, 8 or 9 fragrances out there now. I love Zoologist. I want to collect every single one. So even the ones that I like but don't completely wow me, like macaque or however you pronounce it, I still like it, I'll still wear it. And then the ones that are absolutely gorgeous, dragonfly, beaver, bat, civet, things like that, rhinoceros. Ones that I'll wear a lot more frequently and I'm way more excited for, I'm definitely going to add those to my collection. But if I had every single bottle except for the one that, although I do really like it, I don't know if I'd wear it as much, I'd be weird about that as a collector. I'd have to get that bottle as a completionist. It's like I just got all the fragrances from Panna London. I'm slowly trying to get everything from Zoologist. There's a few other fragrance lines like Francis Kirk John. Maison Francis Kirk John is a line I'm trying to collect. But rather than purchasing every single fragrance at once, and I kind of like to buy 1 or 2 at a time and just kind of have it be something fun and special rather than buy them all at once. When I'm talking about holes in my collection, I'm generally talking about that. I need to get one more bottle and I have all of them from this line. I need one more bottle and I have all of it from this specific line from this house, you know, and that's what I mean by holes in my collection. Also, it means I might want a certain type of fragrance in different varieties. So again, let's use white florals for example. Let's use tuberose. I want tuberose, but I want a tropical tuberose, I want an indolic tuberose, I want a musky tuberose, I want a light tuberose, I want a daytime tuberose, an evening tuberose, and I might have like 10 different types of tuberose fragrances that I want. And you might think to yourself, but you have 9 others, but if I don't have that 10th one, I'm like, okay, I want to find it and search for it and fill that spot in my collection. So when filling holes in my collection, that's kind of what I mean. And so when I purchase things, that's what I'm looking for. Initially, I'm like, well, what holes do I want to fill this month? Well, I purchased a lot of masculine fragrances recently, and I purchased a lot of evening fragrances. There's a few daytime grab-and-go fragrances that I would really like for the fall or the winter time. So a trend that I'm really loving is like aromatic, like unisex fragrances. So I'm going to be going and trying to fill that hole by buying 2 or 3 bottles. So that's one of my requirements for purchasing, or one of the ways that I purchase is trying to fill holes and kind of working like that. I make purchases with fragrances has to come down to opportunity. I like to jump on deals as soon as I know that they're there. If there's a deal for a bottle, if there's a sale, I like to get that as soon as possible. I have no problem buying Preloved bottles. I have no problem buying bottles that only have 50% of the juice left in the bottle. It doesn't have to be a brand new sealed in box fragrance for me to feel happy to have it in my collection. I am totally okay with vintage bottles, Preloved bottles. You know, somebody is like, I'm selling this, you know, can I pull out of a 50 ml bottle 30 mils and give you the bottle in 20 mils? I'll be like, you're gonna give me such a huge discount on that. Yeah, of course, I don't care. So for me, it's not so much like full bottles with full presentation, it's just having that juice in my collection. So there are times where I will look on eBay, there's times I'll look on Fragrantica and Base Notes, and I really like Tradesy, and their fragrance section is great. If you know what to look for and you know what questions to ask, you can find a really great deal. And so sometimes when I'm adding fragrances to my collection, it's because of deals like that. The best example is not this month, but last month I added a Raja Parfum. It was Beguiled. It was a $450 bottle, I believe. I added the coveted Duchess Rose, which is a $250 bottle of perfume, and a Creed Atomizer valued at $175, and I paid just under $200 for all 3 of those from one person because they just wanted to sell it and get it out of their house. So although I definitely wanted to add Duchess Rose to my collection, and Beguiled was a fragrance from Raja that I loved, I wouldn't initially have gone out to look for this, but there was an opportunity at a really great discount, and I was like, let me save these, I will adopt these. So a lot of times when it comes to some of the fragrances in my collection that you see that might not seem to fit into a trend that I've been buying, it's usually because of opportunities like that. Don't get this twisted. Just because something's a good deal, if it's not a fragrance that I wouldn't buy at full price, I'm not going to buy it at half price. I don't have the luxury of space in my cabinet and in my house to just buy whatever fragrance I see. I do buy a lot of things blind, but there are fragrances that I'm interested in anyway, and I like the notes, I like the house, so I'm trusting purchasing this blind. But if it's something that just never would have been on my radar, I'm not even thinking about it, I wouldn't buy it because it's a good deal. The thing is I generally have a rule in place when it comes to blind purchasing fragrances. Now for me, blind purchasing fragrances, there's the complete blind purchase, never have smelled it anywhere before. And then there's also kind of like the semi-blind, where you smelled it on a strip or smelled it on somebody else, but it's never touched your skin. My general rule of thumb is that if a fragrance costs over $250, I will not buy it blind, unless it is an opportunity I can't pass up and it's something that's been on my radar. I had the opportunity to buy a bottle of Karenina, I think that's from Raja, for like $150, and it was one that was on my radar and I wanted to try it. So I bought it. Unfortunately, the person lived in Russia and they were unable to ship it to me. It was too much of a hassle for them. I was like, look, I will pay shipping, I'll pay whatever, it's $150, I have no problem with that. But it was too much for them to ship it internationally, so I missed out on that, unfortunately. But I wouldn't have purchased that if it wasn't a deal and it wasn't something on my radar, having never have tried it. So even if it's something that I like, even if it's something that is on my radar, if it's never touched my skin and it costs over $250, I generally sample it first. $250 is a lot, and I know that that is a lot of money, but when I'm looking at spending $250 a bottle, $250 on a bottle of perfume, generally those fragrances are ones that are a little bit more conceptual. If I'm looking at a fragrance from Guerlain, if I'm looking at getting less exclusives from Chanel or one of the Dior Privé lines or the Armani Privé fragrances, I kind of know how those houses perform on my skin. It's kind of like how someone's like, well, my favorite house is this, even though they have a vast different array of fragrances. But usually the ones that are more, there's something about them that makes me uncomfortable to purchase them blind, which is why it's about $250. But I have been known to have it be way less. There's been fragrances that cost like $80 that I've sampled first and didn't buy blind. There were fragrances that were more money that I bought blind too, but that's a general rule, and it is kind of flexible, but that is something that I do try to be very strict about as much as possible. This is me kind of getting excited and buying the same thing over and over. I like to use this example because it's the easiest one for me to say. Last year around this time, I went into a huge vanilla buying spree. If it had vanilla and amber in it, I didn't care, I bought it. Inexpensive fragrances, really expensive fragrances, blind bought. I wanted vanilla, I wanted that boozy, bourbony, patchouli, amber vanilla fragrance in just about everything, and I was like scourging the planet for those fragrances, and I bought so many. And I get tired of purchasing them, not tired of wearing them, tired of purchasing them, and then I move on to the next one. I think after that was kind of like really heavy, incensey, jammy rose fragrances, and then I was into grapefruit fragrances, and now I'm kind of like on this aromatic kick. So when it comes down to purchasing fragrances, I do go through stages of this month or 2 months or 3 months I'm buying these type of fragrances, and then this month I go into these types of fragrances, and a lot of that really has to do with just my taste and what's the weather like, and did I smell a perfume that completely entranced me and inspired me to get other fragrances like this. So that's another thing that you'll see is if I do a haul and you see like 6 or 7 of the same fragrance, generally of the same type of fragrance, that's usually a an indicator that I went through that kick. I am in like a lavender iris, any type of like aromatic kick right now, like Hammam Bouquet, Drona, Savoy Steam, Dorothea from Penhaligon's. A lot of Penhaligon's. They are fantastic with aromatic fragrances. Fantastic one. I've really been into those fragrances a lot. The Elizabeth Arden Green Tea and Lavender is another fantastic fragrances. I've really been into those a lot now. So that's my other kind of criteria for purchasing fragrances is what am I into this month? What's the flavor of the week? And I usually kind of go a little bit overboard on those. I have a wish list. It's in my bag and I don't know where I put my bag. But I have a wish list of fragrances that I need to buy, want to try. And depending on where I am, or you know, if I have extra money lying around, if I come across one of them, I'll be like, maybe I'll buy this, maybe I'll get this. Currently on the top of my must-buy list is Roses Barbarenza and Lavande Triana from the Maison Lancome line. I really want to get my hands on Spice and Wood from Creed. What else is on my must-buy list? The Bucoliques from de Provence, I think is what it's called, from Les Artisans. Timbuktu from Les Artisans. The Bewitching Yasmin, Lord George, and Much Ado About the Duke, Dorothea from the Penhaligon's Portraits collection, Helfetti from Penhaligon's, that's another one. What else? The Melodie de l'Amour from Decita. I almost bought that today. I literally had it in my cart, was ready to press go, and I was like, you know what? I need to cool down. I need to not just buy this. It'll be here in a few weeks. We'll see. So yeah, there's, you know, like those are fragrances that if I had the opportunity and the money and everything, I would just buy right away without thinking. So, and then I have ones that I like and don't like, and it's forever changing. Every few weeks I kind of amend the list. I've gone through so many notebooks just of my wish list for fragrances. And again, that goes back to the factors before. That goes to what trends am I into, filling holes in my collection, opportunity cost, things like that. So I definitely do consult my wish list very frequently when it comes to purchasing fragrances. This video is a little bit informal, guys. It's more of a chit chat kind of vloggy talking video, and I know that you guys like these and I really like doing these too. But I did kind of want to talk to you guys about my buying process, because I know when you watch my haul videos it looks like there is no method to my madness, but I promise you there is some type of, you know, like thought process and discipline when it comes to purchasing fragrances. Because I could go buy every single fragrance from Francis Clark John. I could just go buy the 10 fragrances I want from Clive Christian, or all the Acqua di Parma ones that I've just been dying for. But I do try to limit myself and hold myself back. Because for me, it's not about just acquiring them and having them. It's kind of like the fun of the chase. So I like to add a little bit here and there from different houses. It's like a buffet. It's really fun to try different things rather than just engorge yourself on one thing way too fast and getting sick. So yeah, that is my thought process when it comes to purchasing fragrances. I don't know if this video is going to be too popular, but if you guys like these types of videos, please let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, or if you guys let me know your buying process. Do you save up for one bottle? Do you buy really inexpensive dupes because you want everything from a line and you don't see the point in spending on expensive bottles and you go for dupes? Do you like to save up for limited edition bottles, flankers? I mean, just let me know your buying process, like what, not grinds your gears, what makes you tick? I would love to know. And if you guys like videos like this, a little bit more informal, sit down, chit chatty, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue videos. Lets me know to continue doing videos like this. There we go. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free. I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy. Have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye!